In this video, I'm going to show you the exact method I use to build and manage my Amazon FBA Scout team, the pros and the cons of having a Scout team, and then what you can do if you want to start one coming up right after this. What's going on? My name is Matthew Osborn, and I'm going to walk you through the core steps I use to build my Scout team and how I manage it. If you don't want to miss another video just like this, be sure to click the red subscribe button below to be notified when future videos just like this are released. Now let's begin by tackling a few questions I often hear in regards to starting a Scout team. So first off, what is a Scout team? So a Scout team is a group of people, or even just a single Scout, that finds and buys Amazon inventory for you. This is extremely beneficial to your business because it overcomes your business' greatest bottleneck, which is you. Your time is limited. If you get to the point where even you're scouting from the moment you wake up and listing books until the moment you go to sleep, your limit in your business is going to be capped by the amount of time you can work every single day because you have a limited amount of time. This is where the classic saying comes from, that you should be working on your business, not in your business. Jeff Bezos did not become the richest man in the world because he was the best at packing and shipping a bunch of orders every single day. He did it because he'd become an expert at delegating tasks so he could work on building the business instead of being stuck working in it every single day. By hiring a Scout, you free up your time to do other tasks required to build your business. Or in my case, having a Scout team with consignment sales allows me to travel the country in an RV with my family because I don't have to have a physical location to find and list books from. Okay, so now one of the other most common questions is, why would someone find and list products for you instead of just running an Amazon business by themselves? Am I not just training my own competition, basically? Here's the thing, not everyone is an entrepreneur. If you're here watching this video, chances are you are entrepreneurially minded because you're trying to figure out ways to grow your business. But the truth is, most people are not entrepreneurially minded. Most people have what I call the Uber mindset, where they really just want a set list of tasks to do, and at the end of the day, they get paid, they can go on to live their lives. They don't want to figure out the software. They don't want to take on the extra expenses up front, have to pay for inventory, have to wait for that inventory to sell, manage it, do business taxes, bookkeeping, everything else that's involved with actually running a business. They want to do a task, get paid, and be done. So many people simply want to have a list of tasks they're trained to do and then be paid a fair wage at the end of the day. Here's how I set it up for my Scouts and exactly what I tell them. If you want to join my Scout team, I will pay for all the software. I'll give you a scanner and I'll train you exactly what to do and pay you either a flat fee for each item or give you a percentage of sales for those items. All you need to do is scan a book at your local library or thrift store, buy the ones that turn green and send them to Amazon. I'll give you shipping labels, I'll give you book labels, I'll give you boxes, everything else that you need to do this. If one day you want to take on the various software and hardware expenses yourself and manage your own Amazon business, you are completely welcome to do so. I'll be happy to have you as a Scout for as long as you want to be one. You are free to work when you want, and there's no cap to what you can make. It's purely based on the effort you want to put into it. That is the pitch in a nutshell. Okay, so now how in the world does this work out financially for me? Here are two examples of Scouts I've had in the past. One of them decided to do it on a percentage of sales. The other one decided to do it on a per book basis. I still do both these methods today. For the Scout that decided to work on a percentage of commission, here's how that deal was laid out specifically. I would provide ScoutIQ, Accelerlist, a scanner, and teach them exactly how to find and list books from start to finish so they could do it all themselves. I would handle the pricing of the books, the repricing of the books, and tracking. They would pay for all the books out of their own pocket. I would not be paying for them. At the end of the month, I would run reports on what was sold, and they would get 80% of the profit. I would get 20% of the profit in exchange for allowing them to use the software and use my account. This actually worked great for both of us. For them, they could Scout as much or as little as they wanted to and didn't have to worry about justifying monthly recurring fees for ScoutIQ, Accelerlist, Pro Seller account, etc. Some months they would just list a few hundred books. Other months they wouldn't list a single thing. They could make as much or as little money as they needed without worrying about running into any actual business expenses. On my end, the only added fee would have been a ScoutIQ child account. Since I was already paying for Accelerlist, I was already paying for my Amazon account. Those weren't added fees for me. At the end of the month, I would run reports like I normally did already, and I would make 20% more without any additional effort on my part. For the scout that decided to go on a pay per book basis, it was a little bit more complex on my end, but here's how that specific deal was laid out. Okay, the first thing I did was I wanted to come up with a standard. Since I knew from my own experience how long it would take to source and list 100 books in a big city like the scout lived in, as well as how much that would cost and how much potential profit there would be, I used this as a template to base my assumptions off of. For the second example, I knew when I was on my game, I could source and list 100 books in about 10 hours a week, 10 to 11-ish, and that would end up with an average buy cost of about $200 and a potential profit of around $750. I figured if I pay the scout $2 per book, in addition to the buy cost, my total expenses for the week would be $400, assuming an average of $2 per book buy cost. So 750 minus 400 is about $350 of profit for me. So if the scout is also on top of their game and they're able to find and list 100 books in 10 hours, then they would be able to make about $20 an hour, which is not bad. If it took them a little longer, they'd make a little bit less, so they're incentivized to find more books in less time and really optimize what they're doing. What I'm explaining to you here is that even though I was paying the scout, quote unquote, per book, what I was really doing was figuring out what that would probably equal to in an hourly wage and figuring out if I would still be able to make enough profit for it to be worth it for me. So I used the ScoutIQ default triggers for the scout, had them adjust their buy cost to whatever the book cost specifically, and anything that turned green, they had the ability to buy. Now, for those of you that are probably doing some math in the back of your head right now, I realize what you're probably thinking. ScoutIQ can accept books as low as $2 profit if they sell quickly, so doesn't that mean I would technically break even if I'm paying the scout $2 for it? And the answer to that question is yes and no. So if every book listed like that fit the $2 profit criteria, then yes, I'd be breaking even and there'd be no benefit to me. But like I said above, what I was basically doing was paying the scout $20 an hour if they were at peak performance, because I knew on average the buy cost and potential profit on 100 books would be. Some of them would be $2 profit books, other ones would be $80 profit books, and at the end of the day, the scout could earn up to $20 an hour, and I would have a decent amount of profit for not doing any sourcing or listing myself. For this scout, I actually had them use the ScoutIQ buy list method. We outlined that in the video linked below. It's a little more complex. I'm not doing it all here, but check that link in the description below after this video is done. You can see the ScoutIQ buy list method and how that works. This allowed me to see exactly what books the scout picked up, when he was scouting, how many books he was at for the week. When it came time to list them, I would just grab this spreadsheet, upload it as it was to my Amazon account, get 30 up labels, send them to him so he could sticker each book. And after he'd stickered each book, he would use Accelerlist box contents to put them in boxes and weigh them. He'd send me an email saying, hey, there's 3 boxes, here's the weights. I would throw those numbers in Amazon and print off shipping labels based on those weights and send them back over to him. He would ship out those boxes from there. Now, this might seem like a lot of work, but when the process is really nailed down, it actually goes very quickly. So, which method do I think works best? Commission model or pay per book? I actually like both, and I think it really depends on the scout and yourself. For the commission model, the scout needs to be more entrepreneurially minded, since it's going to be delayed gratification, they won't be paid immediately, and they have to wait for books to sell. In addition, they do have upfront costs for those books out of their own pocket. The benefit is that they can make more money in the long run and can do it whenever they feel like. For example, I have 2 scouts on this commission model that haven't listed a single book in about 2 months, but they got a very nice sized check a week ago from payments from books of theirs that sold during this textbook season, so they're still making money because they're doing it off commission. For the per book method, this is great for people that are not as entrepreneurially minded and want a consistent income they can grasp. This method, however, takes longer to be profitable for you, the seller. It requires significant upfront costs because you're not only paying for more buy cost, you're paying them per book. And it'll take longer to become cash flow positive on your side, but you'll likely make more money from this method in the long run. Starting and running a scout team is a huge topic. There's tons that I did not get a chance to cover in this very short video. So leave whatever questions you have in the comments below, and I will make a follow-up video to answer those questions specifically. I'll throw them up on the screen and answer any of those questions you guys have about running a scout team. Remember to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this. I'll see you guys next time.